Hi, it's day 4 of Operation Renovation, and it's a little bit more quiet today. There is still a lot of work to get done, but we are on schedule, so that's great to hear. Most of the volunteers here today are from the shelter itself. So basically, what that means is that they are community members who support the Calgary Women's Emergency Shelter on a year-round basis. And I got to speak to one of the ladies who are here. Her name is Lindsay, and she has been a part of the shelter for the last 20 years. So she has seen it evolve and she has seen it rebuilt since the fire. Just a bit of background, the shelter burnt down in 1997 to the ground and there was nothing left. So they had to start from scratch, and from it, although it was an unfortunate event that the shelter burned down, there was a little bit of positive because they were able to improve the shelter structurally. So they were able to add an elevator, they were able to add more space for the common areas, as well as privacy for the families because each individual room has its own bathroom now. So a little bit of light of hope from that fire. That's great to hear. So Lindsay has been a part of the shelter, like I said, for the last 20 years. She first started as a crisis counselor, and up until 6 years ago, she became a part of the administration team. And she says when she was a counselor, she was here every single day and didn't realize how shabby the home had gotten and how run down it was. So then when she was a part of the admin team, she would come for visits, and then she realized, wow, this place really does need a lot of work. So she is very grateful that CTV and Albi Renova are here for Operation Renovation, and says it's probably the biggest renovation project that the shelter has seen. And she says it's very important to make the place as home-like as possible. And I know we say it all the time, we want this place to be as much of a home for the women, but really, can you imagine if you had to pick yourself up, make that decision to escape domestic violence, leave everything that is familiar, take your children away from what's familiar, their friends, their family, their toys, their beds, and come to a place that's strange and live with strangers? Wouldn't you want a place that was a little bit like your home? And so that's why we're here. And Lindsay, as a crisis counselor, she had a lot of stories to share, but one that really stays in my mind, that is just really catches my breath every time I think about it, is a woman who was thrown into a ditch by her husband. She was brought in, and she was saying how her husband first abused her and then threw her in a ditch. And if that wasn't enough, he decided to urinate on her while she was laying there injured. So those are the type of things that the shelter sees, and those are the type of experiences that the women go through when they're here. It's a dark and difficult time, so we are here to let them know that we care, that someone in the community still cares about them, and we don't judge them for letting domestic violence take control. We want them to be able to stand up on their own 2 feet, take power and control of their lives again, and of course lead a life free of violence. So that's why we're here, because we do care, and that we're not judging them at all.